So what's it like to be back in Lincoln?
Actually, this is my first time coming here, and I'm very excited. Got a tour of the whole facilities. Their facilities here is amazing, and just having the opportunity to be with one of my former teammates in Coach Erstad and seeing his boys is definitely an honor.
What's that connection like between you two? I know you played with the Angels and won a World Series, so it's obviously good. What's your relationship like with him?
He's one of my closest friends that I played baseball with. Darren kind of took me underneath his wing my rookie year, and he definitely showed me the way how to be a true major leaguer, and it was something that I was very thankful for. And over time, we've stayed close, and we talk about every year, and so having the opportunity to come out and see him, this is awesome.
Have you been able to follow his coaching?
Definitely. That is a daily check on the internet when they play their games. Yeah, definitely. I checked out all last year. Not as much when he was just a volunteer, but once he took over the head coaching job, yes, I'm definitely watching from afar. And I know he's very excited about this club this year, and he thinks they can do a lot of great things.
Hey, what was it like when you first met him? Did you like him? Kind of hard on you? Or?
Oh, that's going to be kind of part of the speech tonight. But yeah, definitely. I know he loves me. He loves telling the story. Like the first time he walked up to me, he said it was 3 days into spring training. He hadn't said a word. He's a little intimidating, and he comes up and goes, "Hey, what's up, kid?" And so I was like, okay. Then the next day he comes up to me again, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, apologizing, because he realized we were the same age. And so that's kind of how we got started off. And so, but he's very intense. One thing about Darren is his routine. Like when he got to the park, 12:30, and it was on. And that type of mentality, that type of intensity is something that I was the same way, and so we fit together. But yes, you did not talk to Darren before the games. It was only if he talked to you. But definitely he showed you the right way to play on the field.
When did it? He was like, I guess he was a couple years ahead of you just being in the majors,
right.
But you were rookie of the year, and then you had a good year the next year too, a great year. So was it pretty quick in terms of like, hey, we're one of the guys now?
The one thing that Darren did actually, because the way the locker room was set up, there was a couple lockers over here, and it was Darren and Adam Kennedy, and he actually made the clubhouse people move my locker over by him because he made me part of that little group, because I guess it was kind of like a badge of honor if you earned his respect, and I guess that's what I did.
Are there guys that you encounter kind of through your career, who you can say, this guy's going to be a coach, or this guy would make a good coach? Was Darren one of those guys? Or?
Well, the funny thing about it was the intensity, in the sense of would that actually translate, over. But definitely the way Darren knew the game and the way he went about his business, definitely you saw him as being a coach. I just was worried about his routines and how he goes about his routine now when he's here now, because like I've said this a couple of times, I thought I was crazy with my routine, but after seeing him, I felt very normal.
Now there's a lot of guys with Angels ties that are coaching now.
Yes.
So are you next on this list?
Am I next? I'm learning my craft right now. I've been offered jobs. I have said no right now. I go out and help out the local high schools, and then I help out with USA Baseball, and then I help out with the Angels a little bit. But right now I'm dedicated to my wife. We started a company, and I'm helping her run that company, but at some point in time I'll definitely be back in the game.
Yeah, it's like kind of pulls you back in. You're still part of it.
In Florida, I'm at the field every day. Okay. My high school team's playing right now, and so it's something that baseball is in my blood. It's who I am. It's what makes me tick. Even though right now I'm helping my wife sell women's apparel for the sci-fi fan. At the end of the day, it's baseball that I love.
So that's the company?
It's called Her Universe, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the rights to Star Wars, Star Trek, like Doctor Who.
Sweet.
I know. So we go to all the Comic-Cons now.
When did you find out about this event, and what's it mean to you to be asked to come back and speak in an event like this?
I found Darren called up and asked us about doing the clinic tomorrow, and that was the first thing, because Darren had the opportunity to come down and train with us a little bit in Florida, and he also understood like what my brother has had 18 years of coaching, the past 5 in the big leagues, And so having when he asked us to come do that, that was a definite yes. And then about a week later, I got a phone call and said, "Hey, do you mind if you speak?" And having someone like him think of me enough to ask me to speak at an event like this is definitely a true honor, and hopefully I can live up to his expectations, which I've tried to do my whole life.
Kind of going back to what you mentioned about, he was talking about that Angels team, and I know Darren's talked a lot about Joe Madden and kind of how big he was in his development. I mean, was there something about those teams that kind of leads to guys kind of getting into the coach or read that there? Yes, sir. Well,
I think Mike Socha has a great track record of producing managers, and the way they go about the game, they try to actually teach you the game of baseball. It's more of the fundamentals, not just going out there and letting the guys play. And that's something that it started with Mike Socha, and I think we see the very creative Joe Madden use it in many different ways. And then you have the Ron Renekes and the Buddy Blacks, and seeing guys just progress through that organization that are part of their coaching staff, it just tends to lead over into the players. And yeah, there's a lot of the players that have played for that team in that system that are now coaches.
Is that rare, I guess, at the major league level that's set up that way?
I definitely think it is. I don't really think you see another organization that has turned out, especially managers. To turn out four managers is something that shows that they're actually doing something right to produce that many.
What's your assessment of this year's squad?
This year's squad. That's something I haven't really seen. We watched them a little bit in practice. I think they're going to be a little bit more physical than they were last year. But it's one of those things that Darren's very excited. I've asked him about it, and he definitely thinks they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. And their goal is to, find a way to make it, to the regional and end up in Omaha like everyone else. But so right now, I will never bet against Coach Erstad. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, since we're in Nebraska,
yeah.
You're in Omaha.
I know. Yeah. I was in.
As a college.
Yeah.
Player, right?
as a college player playing in Omaha, I promise you, it ranks up there with going into a World Series. It was one of my greatest moments in my life. The city embraced us, playing on that stage at that time. It was probably the last time when baseball was just baseball, to go out and have fun, and there wasn't really all the other stuff that ties to it once you sign a professional contract. And it truly was one of my greatest moments in my career.
I know you guys lost your games, but they were like back and forth. They were both double-digit. Both teams scoring a bunch of runs and stuff.
That wasn't us.
Oh, that wasn't you.
That was Alabama, we played. We had LSU.
Oh. Okay.
So we lost. What I think it was 2-1 in the first game to LSU, okay. And then they came back and beat us again.
So were you up here in 96?
96.
Right? Okay, so I must.
Yes, my brother played with. We were on the same team in '96, and then he went and coached, and he was on the '98 team.
Yeah,
coaching.
That must have been the one.
Yes.
Probably weren't too many 2-1 games back then. With the way
there you go.
Well, you got to remember that was when the wind started blowing in.
Oh,
so the ball just stopped because one of our guys crushed the ball, and it didn't go out, and the umpire called it foul, and replay showed it was fair. But hey, who remembers that stuff, But no, it was there wasn't really many of those games, but during that time the wind started blowing in after the first weekend, and the scores were not as high.
Is that part of your message tonight, just how much fun it is to get to Omaha and that experience? You said it was one of the most fun experiences you've had.
Yeah, I do not talk about going into Omaha. I more talk about the journey to, the caps of getting my first professional baseball card, because you talk to so many kids, and so many kids, when they see you've played in the big leagues, you think you've made it out, and that you hadn't made it your whole life. And just to let them know that it's not that easy, and that if you really want something, you really got to focus and go after it.
How many times did people remark or joke about your size? You mentioned Darren did, but that had to be a common occurrence.
That's part of the story. That'll be part of the story tonight.
Yeah.
It is without giving everything away. But yeah, that will be in a couple times in the message tonight.
First time in Lincoln, you said you guys check out the facilities today. What stood out to you on your tour?
What didn't stand out to me? These facilities are unbelievable. I don't know how a kid would say no to you guys after seeing what I just saw. It was amazing, and especially now that to top off the facilities, now they're adding that new research development facility. Oh my gosh! I know my brother, who's in the coaching business also, seeing that was just amazing. We went through the locker room, the basketball locker room. Oh my God! And so hopefully these kids really understand what they have when they come here, and they really appreciate it, and just don't take it for granted.